You know it's going to be a good aquarium video when you start off outside in a storage shed. So what the heck are we doing out here? Well, to do what we want to do inside, we first had to clean up, make room, and put shelves outside because we had to move all the equipment from behind the 3,000 gallon, the future Predator Bay 3000, out here to make room for the saltwater expansion, the new big aquarium we're building there. Yeah, it's another 20-footer, but it's got other tricks up its sleeve. It's 20 plus feet long, but it's also got some different zones to it. They'd be very different from one another. And I'm also bringing over some of the natural filtration techniques to it, but saltwater style. It's going to be pretty awesome. As well as we're going to check in on the 220 flooded forest Amazon Discus Aquarium, because 3 months ago we put in a settling chamber and we expanded the vegetable filtration. We totally changed up the filtration. Well, let's see how it did, because for the last 3 months all I've done is enjoy it, feed it, and top off the water. So let's see what it looks like, and then we'll go ahead and pump out that settling chamber, see what did it do, and then we'll do a quick little cleanup and take a look on it again and see what's that delta after 3 months. You know, how different did it really look after 3 months after doing a cleanup? I think you'll find out not that much, which is awesome. And you know, it shouldn't be a surprise. The 125 Malawi River Aquarium, same deal. Sediment chamber, vegetable filter, runs awesome. All right, let's go. All right, so I told these parrot cichlids no more breeding until I get you moved into the 1,200 gallon. They don't listen. Why don't the fish ever listen? Well, it looks like we're going to have the fourth generation of true parrot cichlids born in the aquarium and fish basement. These ones here are actually from the second generation, and there's the third generation over there, the smaller guys, but more little fish, I guess, to scoop out when it's time to move these guys. We're so close to getting you guys in the new tank. Couldn't wait. Whew, it's been a tiring and productive Saturday morning. Definitely getting my aquarium fit in here, moving all the stuff behind me. I don't know how much you guys remember was back here, but let me spin the camera around and show you progress so far. So it used to be when we came behind the 3,000 gallon, we had shelving right here. We had the grow out tub over there. You can see all that's gone. This is some trash that'll be gone. And yes, there's a lot of cleanup on the floor. So we're cleared up to about halfway here. And then you can see the shelves. A lot of the stuff is removed. But another important thing is I've built a bunch of shelves out in the shed, so everything that is here can be moved over fairly quickly, and then of course I will take down these shelves here. So we will did a little measuring, and if we go to someplace comfortable, let's just say we start right on the other side of this window here. That's going to give us a 20-foot aquarium. So it's looking like we'll probably be 20 feet long, and I think what I'm going to actually do is build it up higher. So the only thing I have to account for is access to these plugs right here. So I can either have the tank be higher than the plugs, in front of the plugs, but I don't want to do in front because I don't have a ton of room back here, or above the plugs, or like two tanks, one tank and then another tank connected with plumbing in between, which would leave access to the plugs. Right now I'm leaning towards going above the plugs, so the tank will be right at eye level. The only downside to that would be servicing it, so I just have to make sure I can build it as tall as I want, still be able to easily access it. So I'll do some measuring once it's all cleaned out, but however we shake it out, it's going to be at least 20 feet long. It'll be 20 feet long. Guaranteed to be at least 2 feet front to back, maybe a little more, maybe like 28 inches, something like that. I still want to leave 2 feet in front of it for me to easily get around. And then the other decision is, do I go real deep on this one side and then bring it up and have it shallower over there, or go deep the whole thing? So build it down low and go deep, and account for the plug just by going up the wall with the cables and with the extensions. But either way, get it figured out, but I still have some moving to do and cleanup, so I'm going to get to it. So this is going to be interesting. What we're going to do is take a close look at the 220 Discus Flooded Forest, and when I mean take a close look, I mean we're going to take a close look at the filtration and how it's been running the last 3 months. So I haven't touched this aquarium in terms of cleaning. So there's a little bit of algae on the glass there. up top. Nothing really through the middle. Again, a little more up top, a little up top over there, nothing down here. There's no hair algae anywhere in there that was on the roots or the wood. It is all gone. Remember, the only changes were made to this was I added in the settling chamber, I increased the plant filtration, we added in the jungle valve, which for everyone who voted for that, great call because it's doing awesome. It's ready for a trim too, as you can see. It's grown up quite a bit. And we added in the Siamese algae eaters and some small little melon plecos and bristlenose. And that's all that was done. And this is what the aquarium looks like. 3 months of heavy feeding. The discus tank gets fed the most of any of my tanks. And zero maintenance in terms of no glass cleaning, no water changes, nothing like that. Just top offs and feeding the fish. And tell you what, it is balanced. It's finally balanced. It's doing awesome. But what we will do is I will give it a clean up. I'll go ahead and scrape the glass, and we will pump out the settling filter. Instead of putting it into the sink, I'm going to put it into a few buckets so we can see how much muck is at the bottom that never made it into the main vegetable filter. And then, of course, once it's all spruced up, we'll take another quick look at it and see it in its full glory and give these hungry pigs a little bit of food. All right, who says fish keeping isn't good exercise? We've got it all cleaned out. Well, we've got it all torn out. It's definitely not clean. There's a whole bunch of stuff to sweep up off the ground and some painting to do. That wall, that's primered. The brick will be fine. This is unpainted green board over here, so that needs to be addressed. I'm going to reuse as much as I can of the shelving wood. And actually, one thing, you guys were probably screaming at the screen when I was talking about the electrical. It's like, why don't I just cut it and move it higher up here? I mean, I put it in the first place so I can move it. So yeah, I'll put the electrical up here, and then I can run these extension cords up along the ceiling over there and then drop them down on the other side of the 3,000 gallon, which, speaking of which, since I'm keeping the other system salt, I was going to need the protein skimmer. Then I realized, wow, I have another protein skimmer sitting over there. So hopefully I can get that working and yeah, save some money, because that would be very good. So yeah, I have a lot of cleanup to do here first, and I'm going to do some painting as well as the floor. I'm going to paint the floor with concrete paint and everything. And then before I start building anything over here, we'll come back over and clear out this entire sump. So we'll take it all apart, clean it all out. I'll show you everything that's in there. I'll get it cleaned up, and then we'll rebuild it. And also use that opportunity to clean up this plumbing down here. It's kind of disastrous, so I'll fix that as well. So I was getting everybody their last meals of the night, and it seems to be missing a big fish. Where's the other Fogo? The other Fogo is nowhere to be found. Could it have jumped over the divider? No, it didn't do that. Is it possible that it jumped into the wetland filter? Yeah. That's exactly what it did. Unbelievable. If I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it. All right. Time to take the big net, get him back, or get her back where she belongs. So the CJ Ultra Zero is hooked up to the little mini Python here. What I'm going to do is go ahead and cut the power to the main pump there, and go ahead and stir up the settlement chamber, and then we'll find out what's down at the bottom and pump it all out. Alright, let's get this guy into the settling chamber. And get the tube into the first bucket. Let's see what we get. Plug the pump in, and all crud water. So 3 months of muck that's all settled here at the bottom of the settling chamber, and probably get at least 2 5-gallon buckets out of this. And what I do is I just go ahead and move it around down here at the bottom, make sure we get everything from all the different areas, get it all stirred up. So yeah, just move it around down there. Definitely all stirred up. Go over to the second bucket. Oh yeah. Got it in the right spot right now. There's a lot of muck coming out. Yeah, it's a lot nicer having it contained in the settling chamber here rather than getting blown out into the other two chambers of the vegetable filter. It's a lot easier to get it all out from one spot. Definitely working nice. And so that's one of the ways with having a lot of tanks and a lot of big tanks, I manage the maintenance easier. Is this is once a quarter. So once a quarter I go ahead and pump out the settling chamber. The rest of the time I'm just adding water, top off water, and letting the plants do their thing. And as you can see, it is a very healthy tank. But let me get this poured out on the plants. This will grow some serious blue iris upstairs, and we'll get the glass cleaned off, and then we'll take a look at the final product. So with the saltwater expansion taking us almost 9,000 gallons of saltwater, I must have a favorite type of sea salt, right? And obviously it must be Red Sea right there. Wait a second. That says Instant Ocean. What's this over here? That's Live Aquaria brand. And then we have Aqua Forest. Yeah, you get the idea. My favorite salt is the salt that's on sale because it's pretty expensive to do salt water on the scale of 9,000 gallons. Luckily for me though, I'm doing some corals, but I'm doing very easy corals. Corals that don't care about specific calcium, magnesium levels and other chemical components of the salt. They don't care, they're not so specific. I'm mostly doing, the vast majority of what I'm doing actually is saltwater fish, which don't care about those things whatsoever. So once I mix all these together, it works out just great. And it saves a lot of money because the majority of this I bought it at 20 to 25% off, which is, it's a big deal. So the cool thing about having the tank in balance is that even after doing the little bit of cleanup on it, it doesn't look a whole lot different because it didn't get too dirty to begin with. We didn't have any hair algae or excess algae. We had very little algae growth on the glass, and the plants, while growing, didn't require a ton of cutting back. It's just pretty much a pretty balanced aquarium, which is awesome, which is exactly what I strive for. Like I said, aquarium made a lot of big tanks, a lot of tanks in general, so I need them to be pretty well balanced ecosystems that don't require a huge amount of inputs from myself to make it still a hobby and not a job, because like anyone else, it's no fun if I'm spending all my time cleaning out filters and doing water changes every day. So the Discus Aquarium here is a perfect example of an aquarium that I enjoy a lot. I think it's well stocked and enjoyable, but requires very little bit of time to maintain and very few water changes, and everyone is healthy and happy and doing great, and just pure enjoyment. So I'm going to check off the box as the settling chamber / vegetable filter is doing the job. Oh yeah, that and a little pothos and plants in the aquarium. All in all, very well balanced. Alright, so I've got it pretty cleaned up back here behind Predator Bay 3000, and I think it's time to go ahead and put down a new floor. We're going to do the same epoxy floor as I did out in the expansion, and I'm going to get these walls all painted up. We're going to get this area looking really nice and get it prepped and ready so we can start building the new 20-foot long marine estuary aquarium. It's going to be a cool one. As well as we're going to get the sump cleaned out on Predator Bay 3000, and we're going to start on all the plumbing and the lighting and everything. We're going to get cranking. As well as, I think I've got some mini monsters that are ready to graduate up to the Xingu River Aquarium. You guys ready to see some more peacock bass, arowana, tiger shovelnose, and more Oscars out in the 4,500 gallon Xingu River? Well, they're getting ready to move out.